What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week is Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Andrew Goldfarb,
Hello,
and Sam Claiborne.
Is this a final scoop of the year?
This is the penultimate scoop of
Great
2017, and
Second
we've
to
got
last.
a great show for you. We're going to talk about the biggest scoops of the year, biggest news stories of the year with our newsman, our lead newsman, Andrew Goldfarb. We're going to talk about the worst
Chief Newsman.
games of the year of 2017.
Ooh.
But first, a word from our sponsor.
Today's Game Scoop giveaway is presented by God of War: The Lost Pages. In celebration of God of War, we're giving away a $100 PlayStation Store gift card for your gaming enjoyment. Just go to ign.forumstack.com/forums/GameScoop_sweepstakes for a chance to win. I know, it's a doozy, but it's worth it. And be sure to check out the God of War podcast, The Lost Pages of Norse Myth, on iTunes and Google Play for official game lore and in-depth interviews with Santa Monica Studio. A new episode is available each month leading up to God of War's release. Back to you, Damon.
All right, on with the show. The biggest news stories of the year on IGN by traffic. The most read news stories of the year. Andrew, do you happen to know what it is? It's kind of entirely your job to know what this is.
is it? I'm guessing it's an E3 thing. Is it Metro Prime 4?
Here's a hint. It is not a video game news story.
Ooh, so a movie-related one.
Is it,
The answer may surprise you.
yeah.
Something Justice League or DC?
Is it science related?
No.
Okay, so
Actually,
it's definitely big DC.
This is surprising. This is the most read news story of the year on IGN. One Punch Man Season 2 is underway.
Oh, wow. That is genuinely
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah. People like that One Punch Man, apparently.
Miranda refreshing it over and over again.
Scoop?
One Punch Man is really cool.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I watched season 1, but wow, I wouldn't expect that to be the number
Yeah.
one story.
That's awesome.
Go
what
ahead.
I like about the show is that he defeats everyone in one punch.
Yep.
And
That-
then when you think he's not going to,
He does.
he does. And it's not a spoiler to say so. You'll understand if you watch.
It's
Well-
totally good.
It's technically a spoiler.
You can just watch the second season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, our second most read news story of the year is tangentially related to video games.
What, Mario movies?
No.
Tangentially related to, okay.
Is it like Ready Player One or something?
No, it's The Witcher getting a Netflix series.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
That one doesn't surprise me.
Based off the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is that true? It's like not, well, but aren't the games based on the books? So it's
Yeah,
all
but I mean,
kind
I'm
of
just, they don't have, it's the same thing as like sometimes they make Lord of the Rings games based off the books and sometimes based off the movies.
Yeah.
This is not based off the Witcher games, it's specifically based off
And
the
that's
books.
the whole thing with the Amazon Lord of the Rings thing too. It's like it's not like they didn't like us. The estate didn't like some of the liberties Peter Jackson took. So this is like full on an adaptation directly from the novels.
And
That
they,
Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
just announced the showrunner for that, and it was somebody from another Netflix show.
Do we know?
right?
I thought it was supposed to be prequels for Lord of the Rings, too.
Wait, now what are we talking about?
Yeah,
now we're talking about Lord of the Rings?
For
Yeah.
The Witcher, you're right. I think they announced something. For Lord of the Rings,
The Amazon
I'm not
show?
sure. I'm going for the rumor.
Yes.
I forget what they actually confirmed. Yeah.
Anyway,
Worrying.
people are excited for this Witcher TV
Yeah.
series.
Remember
Ne-
that rumor
ne-
about the Zelda Netflix show? I wish that had happened.
Please be excited.
Please be excited. All right, finally, our third most read story of the year is the most read video game story of the year for 2017.
Metro Prime 4.
No, it is Nintendo discontinues
That NES
the
classic.
NES Classic.
That was
Yeah.
a troubling day.
But why
That
is that?
was crazy.
Why was that such a?
That was
I
our
mean, I know it was
exclusive.
like hard to get. That was our exclusive.
Yeah, that was our
Okay.
exclusive.
That's
so that
the-
was big. And it was also like people were still checking Amazon every morning thinking they would get it. And then it was like, never mind. Congrats. You can buy an old used one.
You
thing's
get a
gonna-
Think Geek with like a sleeping bag
Yeah,
eventually, though.
I know.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to come back with 3 more games on it.
What? That would be
well,
so awful.
No, I think they're going to do seasonal releases. Like I think they will
Seasonal.
run SNES to a point and then do another NES run and then release whatever's next, like N64. Then
Game.
when that one runs it through, then they release the SNES again,
Yeah.
and then they do
With
the next
Star
one.
Fox
Like,
3.
Exactly. Yeah. No, what's it?
Unreleased.
They could do it with like when the 64 DD games never came over. Like
People don't know this, but Star Fox 3 was canceled before it existed.
Wow.
So we've never gotten it in the United States. I'm just giving you guys video game history here.
Valuable video game history. Okay, what do you think is? You guys probably know the most read review of the year.
I can't. I
Metroid Prime
cheated
4.
because I just looked it up.
I know Horizon was really high for a while.
Yeah, Horizon's up there, but
No.
Breath of the Wild.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Our most read review of the year. You know, a new entries in a beloved series for a new platform.
But something smaller before Horizon was like 2 or 3.
I mean,
Yes,
It's weird.
You looked all these up.
yeah.
I
Well,
saw
I
it
just looked
recently,
up. I just looked up stats for the year as a whole, so I didn't see.
What
I
was
saw-
it?
So number 2 may surprise you.
It does. It's a total surprise.
It's Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's always the reviews that get the most traffic, and it makes sense when you think about it. But they're not the most popular games. It's the games that people are most curious about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Like Zelda, people didn't know if it was going to be great or not. Or we were pretty sure by the time it came out. But like that's why Horizon's up there. That's why you see
the year before No Man's Sky was really big.
yeah, like Neo is like that too.
I cannot believe Mass Effect Andromeda was this year. That
Yeah.
blows my mind.
It was
That
this year, and it
feels
was
like
a big,
so long ago.
it was a big, debacle. It was another debacle for EA in the same 12 months.
Rough
Yeah.
year for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
Well,
was.
but we did just get news today that Battlefront 2 ended up being the second best-selling game of November here in the United States.
Which,
so
if you come out in November, and Call of Duty also comes out in November, number 2 is basically number 1.
you're basically number one,
Yeah.
just cutting off the inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people didn't, or whatever. The controversy around Battlefront 2 did not keep people away from it.
And that's just console game sales in store.
yeah.
In the
digital.
US.
No, it includes digital
Yeah.
for those.
It's partial.
It's
digital.
no. In the list,
Okay.
there's a little asterisk
Oh, you're right.
that depicts if the digital sales are not included for those, and they do have digital sales for Call of Duty and Battlefront 2. So.
Nice. So those are apples to apples, as they say. Delicious.
It was Breath of the Wild, Mass Effect Andromeda, Horizon was number 3. The fourth most read review was Resident Evil 7.
Nice.
That was definitely up there, and that was, I guess that came out early in the year.
You'll notice a trend here that things that happened a long time ago. have
Yeah,
more traffic.
that's true.
Yeah.
And number 5 was Neo.
Nice. Which was
Again,
a really good
beginning
score we
of the
gave.
year, and if you had a question all year about whether you should play Neo, you'd read that.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like
Instead
it's a
of-
PS4 exclusive of a new IP, so it's not like a known quantity.
Yeah.
But still
Yeah.
pretty good.
Especially in a
Same
year
rules
without a
apply.
Dark Souls or a Bloodborne or anything like that was the most Souls-like game we got this year. So.
Yeah. The most popular game overall of the year on IGN, meaning like it got the most clicks of anything, was The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This is
I would've
definitely
guessed GTA 5.
well. So that's the thing.
It was second.
The most clicked on page of all of IGN for the year was
GTA 5
once
cheats.
again GTA 5 cheats and secrets wiki page
Gotta have those
by
cheats.
a factor of like 10.
Wow.
That's how much
That's
more
why-
popular that one page
say
is
this.
than on anything else.
Game developers add cheats into your games. People play them forever.
Yeah, it's true. Especially GTA. God, that game came out 4 years ago and it's still going strong.
No, I know.
Without
super fun
even
to cheat
ever
in that
getting a
game.
proper DLC expansion or anything.
Drop a
Well,
vehicle next to you. It's really
yeah.
fun.
I mean, the GTA Online has had really meaty.
Yeah, sorry. I mean proper in I'm not saying that pejoratively towards the GTA Online stuff, which is incredible. I just mean without a traditional single player.
And to be clear, these are not people that are cheating in GTA Online. We do not endorse that.
It's fair. But it's like how to make money. It's more tips, It's like how to make money fast and stuff like that.
The GTA 5 cheats are different. They're just put in a cheat.
And the new heist just came out. Is that right? Just
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah,
Like
it finally
crazy, like,
explains
spies heist.
what's inside the
Mount
UFO
Chiliad?
Mount Chiliad stuff that has been hinted at forever. There's always been a jetpack joke and all this stuff. But they added some did you guys see the cars they added?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
insane.
incredible.
The
They are
flying DeLorean.
incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, DeLorean, and then I think it's Moonraker based.
There's a laser, yeah.
But there's a car that goes underwater, like Spy Hunter style, but it's from Bond. I'm sorry, I don't know Bond movies very well.
No, it all seems like very James Bond inspired, which I think is really fun.
GTA Online is nuts. I talked about it on Scoop a few months ago, where I don't remember what triggered it, but you just see these packs come out month after month after month, and I'm like, I gotta check out what's going on with GTA Online, and they put a sequel to GTA 5 inside GTA 5. The content can be gone through single player, and there are entire storylines with arcs and new characters and returning characters, and it's all voice acted and animated, and there's this long, winding story thread of lowriders and this gang war, and it's all in GTA Online, and it all came out post launch, and I how many millions of GTA 5 are sold, and people just don't know that that's available to them.
Yeah.
So cool.
I haven't revisited that game since I beat it after release. So it's been a long time.
You can go through it single player. It feels weird just because then some other character will just run you over, and you're like, well, okay, I don't like that.
Like in the middle of a climactic story scene.
All right, next up, we will reveal the worst games of the year. But first, another quick word from our sponsor.
Today's GameScoop giveaway is presented by the companion God of War podcast, The Lost Pages of Norse Myth. Each month, hear new official lore on creatures, weapons, realms, and in-depth interviews with Santa Monica Studio. Check out a quick preview from episode 1, Odin and the Knowledge Keeper. And be sure to go to ign.formstack.com/forums/GameScoop_sweepstakes for your chance to win a $100 PlayStation Store gift card.
Disastrous visions. She saw the worlds plunge into a bitter 3-year winter. She saw the sky split, and the realms began to tremble and quake. She saw a horrible terror emerge with a flaming sword and an enormous, beastly wolf rampaging across the countryside as he grew to consume the very sun. She saw the deadliest of monsters and the worst of gods at each other's throats. And, in the events leading up to it all, she also saw a pale, white ghost from a distant land and his young son, somehow intertwined in this terrible prophecy.
Okay, 2017, the Game of the Year nominees have been announced, and the winners are going to be revealed in just a few days. Is that right, Justin?
Yeah, Wednesday the 20th.
Next Wednesday, the 20th.
December 20th, yeah.
Please be excited. But before we reveal the winners of Game of the Year, let's run over the worst games of the year. The games that got the lowest scores on IGN.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. This is IGN.
I should point out that IGN doesn't review everything anymore because there's millions of Steam games and mobile games. So I'm sure there's worse games that didn't
That's true.
scored reviews. But
Yeah.
out of the ones that some poor critic had to
No, we tried to pick and choose the games that our audience is actually interested in.
Yeah.
Games like Bubsy,
Aw.
The Woolies Strike Back.
Ooh, that game's bad.
Did you actually play it?
We did a
Did
let's
it
play
get
of
a
it. It's
2
very
something?
bad.
No, we gave it a 4.5.
Oh, okay. All right.
bad.
Yeah,
That's
not
bad.
bad.
It's
No,
also-
you're starting up high and then going lower.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So it gets
What
worse than
comes
that.
after Bubsy?
Yeah, Bubsy, it's like, I don't know. So, like, Acclaim was purchased, and all of those old catalog titles suddenly became available. And I guess they decided to revive Bubsy, 20 years after the last Bubsy, and it did not work. No one missed that character.
No, who was waiting for a new Bubsy game?
It is mechanically not great.
I know people that like Bubsy. I don't want to get into it.
Well, we don't need to name names.
They should have
You like
pulled.
that comment? They should have put it on a classy cartridge.
What's that?
That's your brand new
Wouldn't
Street
you
Fighter
buy
2
a
cartridge.
sealed in box copy of Bubsy now? Though.
Only if there's a chance that it
No.
could glow in the dark.
Yeah. And might explode.
No, this is actually a cool story. So Capcom re-released Street Fighter 2 for SNES on a cartridge recently.
There's
limited quantities.
5,000 or there's 5,500 of them.
Okay.
Yep.
And they have a cartridge inside you can play in a Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I unboxed it today, and the video is very funny. I won't go into it here, but you should definitely watch it. It's really, really good.
So you don't want to spoil. Well, you don't want to tell our listeners.
But here's the thing. Some of these I bought one. This is my sealed copy, and then and I don't really want to open it. I don't think, but we got 2 others, and we opened them, and there's this very rare. 500 of them are green that glow in the dark.
Wow.
Blanca green, they glow in the dark, and then 5,000 of them are red. So we got 2 just to crack open and see if we got one of them, because they even told us that they didn't know which ones were green or not.
Our good friends at iam8bit sent us a couple copies. They strongly hinted they would try and hook us up with the glow in the dark one, but we poured over those boxes. I cannot find any indication of which are which.
Yeah, so I don't think they'd be able to know either.
Yeah,
But
unless they had stickers on them. I mean, they might have known. But regardless, we got lucky. We got one of each. That was pretty cool.
well, I wasn't going to spoil it, but anyway.
Or did we?
Well done, Andrew.
No, but we cracked them open and we run
plugged
them
it
in
in
an
an
SNES,
SNES and
and it
played it?
didn't catch on fire.
It did not catch on fire. Well,
Which is an actual warning that comes with this game, which it can catch on fire. So it says to have, I think I have it here, but it says to have equipment next to you to put out the flames if you have it. Anyway, that's a real
keep
thing.
your fire extinguisher right
I
next
have
to the
it with me
TV.
right now.
We were
Well,
talking
like
about
you
that
do.
earlier, like,
Yeah.
I wonder what must have happened in testing to force
Okay,
them
I
to
got
have
it.
to include that warning.
Ready? Warning. Use of this reproduction game cartridge, the product, of the SNES gaming on the SNES gaming hardware may cause the SNES console to overheat or catch fire. The SNES hardware is deemed a vintage collectible, so please exercise extreme caution because you don't want to ruin your vintage collectible, let alone your belongings
Or
and
your whole house
and
or your
loved
cat
ones.
Body.
Cats. So please exercise extreme caution when using this product. So just carefully handle it and make sure there is fire extinguishment equipment nearby. So we did that. We had an
extinguishment
extinguisher on hand.
Good.
Everything was
Safety
fine.
first.
So what that probably means, just so you're not scared of Super Nintendo games, is that somewhere in this manufacturing process there was
someone exploded.
like a prototype that
Yeah.
smoked
I can tell you exactly what happened. They said, "Hey, what if we did one of these for Bubsy?" And then the room exploded because everyone was like, "No, no one wants that."
No, they collected them all and burned them. And then, and now I want one because it's even rarer than the 500
That's true.
ones.
The explosive ones. Yeah.
All right, so Bubsy got a
Just hijacked the
4.5.
show there. It was great. I'm going to put this back in here.
Well, I brought a Persona collection.
Sam always has a sealed copy of Street Fighter 2 for the SNES on hand.
Just in case.
Yeah, for any occasion.
Who doesn't?
You guys remember Drawn to Death?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 4 earlier this year.
That's from the creator of God of War
Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
and Twisted Metal.
Calling all cards.
Yeah, but I guess I had even forgotten that was this year. It seems like a long time ago.
You know, I remember when that game got announced.
looked
That was the
PSX.
original
It's a
PSX.
sequel to Draw Something.
That was
So, okay.
that was 2014 PSX. They announced it, and I just from the beginning. I mean, for me personally, that is the most uninteractive art style. Like even
I
before we
think
knew
the
gameplay.
Notebook style
Yeah.
could be really good.
I think it's clever.
I agree. It could be really good. I
right.
don't think that particular.
You don't think it was executed well,
Yes.
but you like the idea of it.
I like the idea of everything on notebook paper, but it's like it's not like pretty. Like it's like it's like grungy.
Well, it's like everything on notebook paper is cute and clever, but then it's like a teen boy's like overly exaggerated, just insane character designs,
Yeah.
and like that's when like they maybe leaned a little bit too hard into that.
I think it's pretty metal.
yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
definitely pretty
metal,
metal. Yeah.
But was it pretty fun? Apparently not.
You be the judge.
Well, is 4 pretty fun?
Nope, that's not actually.
4 is bad.
4 is bad, yeah.
Okay.
We should, in the new year, though, we
checking the
should
math.
relook at our review system and add a pretty fun.
I like pretty fun. Maybe a 5.2.
It's pretty fun.
I've already suggested that. So right now, 6.0 to 6.9, our scale is okay, and 7.0 to 7.9 is good.
Yeah.
And so I've requested that 6.9 specifically just be nice.
Nice.
With a couple of eyes?
Yeah,
Yeah, with like 4 eyes. Okay.
Nice.
that's really good.
4 eyes.
Getting a 3.8 this year was the Switch version of WWE 2K18.
Have you guys watched videos of that?
No, what happened with that one?
It's in permanent slow motion. It runs so poorly. It's like I don't. It's not even that the frames are missing. It's like it was released prematurely. It seems like
Wow.
we have videos of it. They are not good.
3.8. Yeah.
The other console versions did fine though. right?
Yeah, fine.
I thought so, yeah. But also,
No, this was a unique to Switch issue.
Yeah.
And I think it
Gotcha.
probably a day one patch will fix it.
well, wasn't there also an issue with?
I don't know if it already came out though, so I'm just saying, hedging my bets there.
What about the FIFA version of the Switch version of FIFA? That was also not great, right?
Well, that was the last gen version. I thought that they ported
I think
up.
it was just
And
not
it had-
nearly as fully featured.
And it was made for Switch though. Like it had like things that were like unique to Switch on it. So
Well, it's also they don't even have the excuse of like the Switch is less powerful than the PS4 and Xbox One, so it's harder to port over contemporary games. Except Doom came out and was like totally good, so it's like no one has that excuse anymore of not being able to bring their game.
I
over.
cannot wait to see how Wolfenstein is on Switch because that's like that feels like the
more
first
recent game.
really big test.
Yep.
Yeah. Because Doom was not quite as fully featured. Like they took out some of the online modes. You could download some stuff, and then it's missing Snap Map. I wonder what. Like it's got to be really hard, and I'm like impressed that Bethesda's trying, but it sounds like other publishers are having some trouble.
All right, the lowest scored game of the year on IGN got a 3.5. So it's actually there's been years where we had lower scores. There was no 2s or 1s this year. So 3.5. You most certainly have forgotten this game came out this year. It was an early release, and I had the displeasure of playing through the game in its entirety on a live stream
Oh boy.
with Brian Altano.
oh, Double Dragon 4.
Double Dragon 4.
Wow.
That was the one.
That's not good.
Yeah, that was a bad one. I was excited when they announced that too.
Did you review it?
No, I don't remember who reviewed it.
There were mixed reviews for what was it, Double Dragon Neon a few years back. Like they've had a
That
lot
was
of
also
ups and downs.
bad. It was
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
Or Double Dragon. When will Double Dragon have its day?
Is it controversial to say that Double Dragon was never fun?
I don't think
I'm not saying that. I'm just asking if it's controversial.
I don't think there's that dedicated a community of Double Dragon fans.
I guess we'll find out, but
I
I'm not
guarantee
saying
you
it.
there are.
I'm just asking the question.
Guess
I'm
what?
just
They're all
asking
mobilizing
questions
now.
here.
Yeah.
It's like the forces of a Peter Jackson movie. Bayou Billy, I think, was a really good version of Double Dragon. I just want to put that out there.
the best non-Double Dragon Double Dragon.
Yeah,
Well, it's
the
like
Adventures
people-
of Bayou Billy.
People will defend, Streets of Rage, and
Streets of Rage is
Final
great.
Fight has its fan, but I never hear of like
Final Fight's pretty cool.
I never hear about like the serious Double Dragon fan.
They're out there.
Well, they're making Double Dragon games.
They do exist.
I played a lot of Double Dragon 3 on the NES.
3,
huh?
Yeah.
That has. Okay, can you pick your buddy up in that game?
Yes.
which is the most annoying thing. I love that.
Oh, I had like this really weird like 20 questions deja vu moment just then.
Also, River City Ransom rules.
Yep.
Yeah, River City Ransom, great.
Barf.
Barf.
Looking at our reviews and at the low end of the score spectrum this year, that was really all I came up with that actually stood out. So I think this just reinforces once again this has been a really good year for games.
What a good year for games.
Yeah, almost too good. It's hard to find time to play stuff.
It's true.
There's like an amazing game almost every week.
And there's like a ton of new games just came out for Switch this week.
Yeah.
A bunch of downloadable
17 or
stuff.
40,
Dude, Switch-
something like that.
Yeah.
I was just telling someone, Chloe or somebody, that if you look at the Switch release schedule, it's absolutely insane between now and the end of the year. And I want to find out, like, I don't know if like something happened, like there was some behind the scenes something that happened because we went from like a slow trickle of Switch games to now there's like literally like 5 or 10 a day, and they're really high profile indie ports like Enter the Gungeon and stuff like that, like Gorgoa. Like
I think there must have been some kind of bottleneck in getting those through cert or something.
Exactly,
And they just
like-
all passed.
there,
at the same
there was some
time.
cert bottleneck, or the Switch eShop is like shutting down December 20th or something, so they're all trying to until
Like
the
for
new,
the holidays,
like
yeah,
for the
yeah.
holidays. So
I heard that as the Switchy Shop with a Y.
Switchy.
And I'm just saying, maybe Nintendo should have called it that.
speaking of eShop games, the guy that made Dust, an Elysian Tale,
Yes.
I didn't even know. Somehow I completely missed, and I follow indie games, that his new game is out right now.
Never Stop Sneaking.
Never Stop Sneaking.
Wow.
It's a top-down homage to like Metal Gear Solid, like deliberately chunky PS1 style pixels.
All right.
And I downloaded it last night, and it's pretty cool.
You downloaded on what?
Switch.
Switch? Oh, so, it's just,
Out
So
now. I mean,
much.
it's out within the next few days. I got a press copy, but it'll probably be out by the time most people see this.
all right.
That virtual console hits like January 1st.
I know.
Yeah, what's happening there? I think the last time I got an update was like before the Switch was even out, right? And they adjusted the pricing. Just want to play online. I want to play Virtual Console. Weirdly, so Versus Super Mario Brothers is coming out really soon as part of Arcade Archives, which is so it's like that whole collection of those weird arcade versions of like Versus Super Mario Brothers, versus Clu Clu Land, versus Balloon Fight, but like those aren't.
Yep.
Like that's a weird thing to put out before there's been any Virtual Console stuff because those aren't like
Aren't the Mega Man X games doing the same thing?
those will come out as part of that collection that Capcom announced.
Is it a collection or are they individual?
I believe. Well, I don't know. Actually,
would be
You might
really
right.
weird.
It might
And
be
there's all
both.
those SNK ports. So it's like right now they're getting around the lack of Virtual Console by just releasing old
And that's
games.
Arcade
as,
Archive.
like-
Like,
just-
that's all the Neo Geo games and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, it's a good.
But then will they not
stopgap.
those not be in
the
the
virtu-
eventual?
That's why it gets weird.
Virtual
Exactly.
Console?
And if that version of Virtual Console has some kind of like extra features of some kind, like those won't be in this. Like they've added a lot of like on 3DS anyway. There's like the Pixel Perfect mode, and there's lots of like cool like rewind features and save states. So I don't know what they're doing.
And now for something a little different.
Oh boy.
Justin, you still playing Eternal?
Well, Damon.
Yeah.
Funny of you to ask. No, yeah, I am still playing Eternal, Damon. You and I, our love of digital card games is well documented
Yes.
on this show. Love Hearthstone, and I do love Eternal, which it's made by Direwolf Digital, who are also the designers behind Elder Scrolls Legends. So Bethesda publishes that, and then Direwolf is the developer.
Also, Elder Scrolls Legends is also very good.
Yeah, it is. And so Direwolf, this is their own game that they're developing and publishing themselves. And I consider it's more complex. It's like a step up from Hearthstone, but it's like a step down from Magic the Gathering. So like for me, it's perfect. Like I'd kind of fallen off of Hearthstone a little bit, but I don't want to get into full on Magic Online.
Yeah.
Eternal, I dig it, and there's a new set coming up, and they offered us. We get to reveal.
Oh, so hold on. We need to build some tension here. We're going to reveal a new card. No one in the world has ever seen this card before. We're revealing it right here, right now. It's upside down.
Here, let me.
Okay, yeah. I'll definitely put a nicer
we
picture
get
up
it?
on the screen there.
Can we get a shot of this?
That's for this game
Now go
really
ahead.
big.
He cuts away.
It's me. I'm the card.
No, yeah, you'll
What is the new card?
The card is Valkyrie Harvester. It's a legendary. It costs 8, so it's a late game card.
Yeah.
Should Andrew and I just leave?
No.
6 attack, 5
Sam, what
defense,
are you up
flying unit. It's got a special ability, Andrew.
Yeah.
It says when you summon the Valkyrie Harvester, you draw each unit that died this turn, and those units get flying, and they also become a Valkyrie.
But that includes the enemy units. Ooh. You gotta deal with those.
I like trickies. Like I'm not sophisticated enough. Like you'll see people like
I think you're very sophisticated.
like Crip or someone like that can look at a new card and immediately identify what makes it good or bad. And even though I'm decent at these games, I can't. Like I need to play with it to figure it out. But I like tricksy cards. And even if someone could probably explain to me why why this isn't like a high level tournament card. But I like it because, let's say you have some spell that clears the board or does something insane, knocks a bunch of units out, then you summon this guy. You get them all. You get your enemy's units and you get your own units.
Do you think that guy likes it this way? Do you think he
This
wishes-
guy?
Yeah, the guy photographed on the card. Do you think that he wishes?
Yes,
it would
it's a
just be
photograph.
Yeah.
They
looks
took
pretty
a
evil.
photograph for this card of the Valkyrie.
So
Hunter.
this was a spoiler. This was a debut of a card. The expansion is called the Dusk Road.
Okay,
Eternal.
So Eternal's out now. It's on PC and mobile.
Yep.
And it's great. It's free to play. You can and there's a cool like single player campaign that you can play through. Totally free.
Single player campaign, and it actually really showers you in like premium. Like you get card packs all the time just for playing.
And then, do you know when this expansion is out?
I don't think it has a release date yet. I
Okay.
apologize if I'm wrong, but it's coming very soon. 300 new cards. The Dusk Road, Eternal. I can personally vouch for it. I play it almost every morning on my writing.
You've been talking about it for a very long time.
It's a totally.
I'm happy to be able to reveal
Like
the card.
2.5 minutes.
That was exciting for me. I've
Oh, that's really
I've
cool.
never revealed a card.
What a
before.
cool and what a fun thing for GameScoop.
Yeah,
If you are a game developer and want to reveal a thing, email.
Yeah.
me.
And send us envelope art.
Yeah.
If you want to reveal, what would be a cool game to reveal?
An
New
upcoming
Pokemon.
reissue of a Super Nintendo game.
If you're out there and you want to reveal Halo 6,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh
great.
yeah,
Right,
we'd love
just-
to
Hey,
have that one.
Gabe
Just
Newell,
email
Half-Life 3.
gamescoop@ign.com and it'll come to me and I'll.
Yeah.
we'll put
We'll
it
work
30
something
minutes into the show. We'll have a piece of paper.
Yeah,
well,
we have a laser printer. It's full color. Full color laser
Full
printer.
color printer.
we'll get a color. We'll print out a color picture.
We'll hold it up upside down and everything.
Yeah. Like, it's a
great.
nice printer.
Okay.
We're not screwing around here.
Late last week, Nintendo surprise released the second half of the Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC or Season Pass.
They pulled the available now.
Yeah,
was so
and
cool.
it's available right now.
And
Called
then
the
it was like 4.5 hours.
But it was that night.
It was, yeah, I mean for them it's
9
pretty
p.m.
close.
The Champion's Ballad content is what this is. So it's a little confusing to me. I dove into it a little bit last night, but it's a little confusing what exactly I got. I
Well,
know, first
kinda
of all,
didn't want to hear what I got
really.
too much, so I don't know how much we should share. But
Okay.
it is a
Well,
lot.
yeah,
more,
I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
I
everybody,
can
but-
give you a without naming numbers or
We'll give
locations
it
or
a
anything.
whirl, and then I'll just bleep out things that I think.
That's fair. It is a
Beep.
the extremely broad overview of it is without saying a number. It's essentially you get a few extra challenge. So there are things in the main game called shrine quests, which are side quests that reveal a shrine.
You don't need to mansplain Shrine Crest to me.
I'm just big.
I did them all.
I know.
Why are you so bad at this? It's more shrines. You
No,
need
but
more
it
sh- way
isn't
more
though
shrines.
because you unlock those shrines with extra quests, then you get the shrines, and then those culminate in an extra cool thing. So and that's the way to phrase it basically is that you get a couple. It is just more shrines, but they don't just appear on the map. You have to do stuff together.
Beep.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that happened. Is it considered a spoiler? Well, the first thing that happens when you go back to the Shrine of Resurrection?
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
you get a new weapon that
Yeah.
kills enemies in one hit, and then you get your life reduced to 1/2 a heart.
that
you
you
die in one hit, and then you have to take out all the enemies in this area. So that reveals a new shrine when you
And
complete
that's like
okay.
that's
Now
like,
I understand.
But that's like all of that is like 15% of the
Yeah,
DLC.
that's like
Okay.
the beginning.
That's for
the
some,
opening of the
It's
DLC.
like a training run for other stuff, which has nothing to do with only having one heart.
Yep.
You get all your stuff back. You get to do everything. There's more boss fights. There's more shrine stuff. There's a lot more costumes, and it's a good chunk of like hours to play in Zelda.
10
That
plus
feels a
hours,
lot like the old hours you played.
Yeah, I will say it doesn't.
And there's new memories,
Yeah,
so you get to see new cutscenes.
it feels like a little bit more of everything.
Great, more Zelda
Nintendo-
voice
but-
acting.
Nintendo did over like story DLC, a story expansion. I'm like,
That's exactly what I was about to say. It is like the game I like spent the most time with this year. I love it. I am so happy to spend more time in that world. But
You can
I think it's
criticize the DLC,
disingenuous
that's
to call it story DLC because it's really not. It's almost like
and that's because it
challenge
has
DLC.
cutscenes in it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like challenge DLC with cutscenes.
I think it's fine to say like Zelda's my game of the year and one of my favorite games this generation, but I'm not pleased with either DLC pack. I didn't think either of
I
them
thought the Master Trials is awesome.
Yeah.
Did you actually finish all
I like
three?
Master
I finished
Trials.
2. I
Me
didn't
too,
finish the third
yeah.
one. Yeah.
God, the third stretch is really hard.
hard,
But
yeah.
this is, I think you guys would like it a lot. I think it's really good.
It's
Much more than you think it is, and there's a really hard set of visual puzzles that have to do with the map that are really clever, and there's ties to old Zelda games which you wouldn't expect going in.
and there's
Which
motion control stuff.
that drives me crazy.
What?
There's some motion control stuff that I have issues with.
The one hit kill thing, and it's not like if you were to go into this like this is post. I don't even think you can start it till you've beaten the game. Like it's definitely post.
You have to have beaten the 4 divine beasts.
Yeah,
I don't think you have.
you don't have to defeat Ganon.
Okay, fair enough. But so, like me, I hadn't played Zelda in 6 months, and to pick it back up, I don't remember what the buttons are.
Yeah.
I don't remember how to play the game at all.
Especially when you have one heart.
I totally
It's
forgot.
really hard one-hit kill stuff.
I think it's smart. It gets you back into it.
So, but I think
you have to be good.
If you like beat the four divine beasts and then move on to this DLC right away when you know what you're doing, like I think it's a lot smarter. But for me, I died and died and died, and the lizard spit on me, and I died, and I'm just like,
if you get hit by one keys, I do want to
like
really
something
quickly.
exploded all the way over here, and like I died because like the flames were close enough that I took damage.
so like that's like battle challenges like the trials.
Yeah.
And like that's not what I want in my DLC. So what it opens up to is like just more open world stuff with like areas that like had nothing in them and now they do. Like I love that.
It's just like an extra 10% of the game, basically. It's just like they tacked on a bunch of extra stuff. I do want to quickly plug that Brian Altano and I did an interview with Fujibayashi-san, who's the director, and Anuma-san, who's the producer. We have a lot of like really cool, weird Zelda breakouts. Look for those on IGN. They're publishing pretty much every day for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're not all.
How do they find them? What do they search for?
So they're individual
for it,
headlines, but they'll all
Altano.
link to each other. So yeah, I mean, search like IGN search is
Garthep on
weird.
Twitter.
Yeah, I mean that either look at my Twitter or look for Andrew Goldfarb, IGN Zelda.
Breath of the Wild news, IGN.
Yeah, exactly. You'll find him.
So is this it for content for Breath of the Wild?
Yep.
Is it over?
You should read one of my articles.
Which one?
You should
Just read any of them?
You should read the one called Zelda Producer Has Many Ideas for New Zelda Content.
Many ideas.
There has to be more. It's pack 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They'll have more.
Oh, I thought
It
this
is.
was it.
It's just
This
we
concludes
paid
the
for these
season
already.
pass.
The
This
season
concludes the season pass. But as we learned from Final Fantasy 15,
Well, Andrew and I were talking about this earlier. It's on the one hand, it's super cool that these single player games just kind of get a second life. Like Borderlands is really good at that. Like it just kept going and going and going. And Final Fantasy 15 announced a second year of like, you know,
well, they haven't announced it yet. They're just heavily hinting at it.
Well, okay.
We
yeah,
expect it to
it's-
come probably at Jump Festo, which is like next week.
Next week, yeah. But for me, I didn't play 15 because it was like a little bit janky at launch. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till it's like the Game of the Year edition or whatever. But now they announced a second year of stuff coming, and I'm like, when is the right time for me to play this game? Like,
It's a really fascinating. It's like a 60-hour game, and there's a big time jump, and that's how the game opens, and then they kind of return to it. You missed like 10 years in that game. You just don't know what happened in between, and the DLC is filling in those gaps in a really smart way. But like, it's fascinating that from reading interviews I've done, and the interviews I've read in Game Informer and stuff, I get the impression they are just kind of figuring out as they go what frustrated people.
Yeah.
And filling in those gaps now, which is a really fascinating way to make a game that's been in development for 8 years or whatever.
it's definitely not Zelda.
10
I mean, we're
years?
talking about them in the same breath. And
Yeah.
even if Zelda does
Of
get
the
a second
Wild.
year, oh boy. Even though Zelda's maybe
You set
getting
me
a
up, I'll
second
knock
year
him
of
down.
DLC,
That's not how it goes.
It's not like fixing problems that Zelda had. It's just, you know, that world is so big and so expansive that there's like whole areas where like there's nothing to do. And if they just add stuff there, like,
I mean, I agree with Sam. I think there will be more. I also think they spent so much time on that engine. The system is so young. It would be, even if we somehow don't get more Breath of the Wild DLC, I would expect we will get some kind of spin-off Zelda game set in that engine or in that art style because, you know, they put in all the work.
Yeah,
should do that feature in January.
Yeah.
We actually got a couple emails about this new Zelda DLC this week. This is Dorian of Idaho.
Thought Dorian Gray, like the guy in the painting.
It's not.
No, Dorian of Idaho.
Could be.
Dorians.
With all the DLC that has recently come out for 2017's biggest games, Horizon, Zelda, Destiny 2, I asked a question to myself, when is a good time to release DLC for a game? It seems like there are two variables that come into play when releasing new content. Releasing it too early or releasing it much later when most people have moved on from the game. I personally prefer DLC for a game to be released within a month or two while the story and gameplay for a particular game is still fresh in my mind, but I'd like to hear opinions.
I agree.
So, but what is that,
disagree.
a month?
Yeah, I never.
A month after release?
There's huge. Like I can probably count on one hand the number of single player DLC content packs I've ever gone through because they come out too late. They come out after I've moved on from the game, and like I didn't play Frozen Wilds because I don't I don't even think Horizon's installed on my PS4 anymore. Like they waited too long.
See, I'm the exact opposite of you. I don't want it early. Like I like moving on and then returning to a game. I like having a reason to come back because like for me, this timing was absolutely perfect for Zelda because it took that long to see everything else. And I kind of like having especially when we come to the Game of the Year, right? Like this timing couldn't possibly be better for us because we're having all these conversations about Game of the Year. And so it's really fun when something comes out in like late November because it's kind of an excuse to revisit that game anyway.
Yeah, that's true. It does create that problem of like you have to relearn how to play the game
Yeah.
relearn the controls and like
bother.
I'd
Which for
forgotten that
Zelda's
you
weird.
jump with X in Zelda.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Zelda
whoa.
X is Y, up is
Yeah,
down.
what?
You can. I didn't even know you could swap those controls until I did we did that Zelda interview on the day the DLC came out, and they let's play some bit, and their controls were different than mine, and I died immediately. Like I died in probably 5 seconds flat.
Sam, when do you want your DLC content? Sooner or later?
If it's sooner, I just feel like it should be on the disc, you know.
Yeah.
And then later it makes me like feel a little bit better about it for people that only buy a couple games a year, because then
Yeah.
they just have kind of more to do later.
yeah.
There's definitely a sweet spot. I
be-
think the 18 months after a game comes out would be a really weird time to release DLC.
Yeah. It must be a challenge for publishers trying to figure out when is the best time to release this thing. I'm sure there are many meetings about that happening behind closed doors. But like Shadow of War is getting single player content in like May. It's like next spring. It's crazy.
We're seeing more. IGN could actually probably do maybe a little bit better job of covering this or writing about this. But like Assassin's Creed is a single player game that has, you know, they're doing weekly challenges, like online challenges, like beat this boss and add your name to the leaderboard and get this exclusive loot, like almost MMO style like quests and you know living game world stuff. And Shadow of War is doing something similar. And it's this tension between like not every company wants or can make, you know, a Destiny like or, you know, an online game as a service, but they kind of want to have their cake and eat it too. Like, let's make this awesome single player Assassin's Creed, but still kind of try to bake in reasons for people to come back, and hopefully some will transact and, you know, continue buying stuff into Q1, Q2, Q3.
The $1 million question for me right now is Mario Odyssey, because that is Nintendo recently with Xenoblade, with Splatoon, with Mario Kart, with Zelda. They announced season passes basically alongside the release of these games, and Mario they've been silent on. And that of all of those games feels the easiest to add a new kingdom to. Like it feels like it's so common sense
Add
to
a
be
new
like
100
here's-
new moons.
Exactly. So I'm expecting that'll happen because that seems to be Nintendo's trend. But
What would you
guess
pay? What would you
not.
pay for a new kingdom and 100 new moons? Would you pay $20?
$300.
$300.
I would happily pay if they said, hey, there's going to be 3 drops of, you know, one new kingdom, you know, 2 months, 4 months, and 6 months. I would pay $20 for that season pass, no problem. I would pay $30 for that season pass.
For 100 moons, I would pay $10. That's 10 cents per moon.
All right.
Wow, that's fair.
Just curious.
We
Wait,
talked,
say that again?
That's actually how it works. Each moon you get, they charge you another dime.
You give them
Yeah,
your credit
it's good.
card and then they just
Maybe you get the money back after you collect them.
we've talked a lot about
that's how it works.
Mario Kart added eventually Splatoon and Animal Crossing and Zelda stuff. I would love to see the Mario Odyssey DLC go to like Hyrule Kingdom.
They're definitely like toe dipping Mario Kart becoming like Nintendo Kart.
Yeah, totally.
This is Luis Augusto. And he says, with the new Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC, we see that Link has a new motorcycle, the Master Cycle Zero. At first, you might think, this is strange. What is Link doing with the motorcycle? But then you realize it actually fits within the lore of the world. According to the game, 10,000 years ago, an advanced civilization existed. They created the divine beasts, the guardians, the Sheikah Slate, the Shires, etc. So my question is, what do you think about Nintendo using the same engine and graphics to create a prequel to Breath of the Wild 10,000 years ago with a futuristic scenario?
I'm down. I really think it would be so
New
fun.
Donk City.
Well, yeah, in New Donk City.
The Zora always had technology.
And it would be so cool to fill in like this Zelda timeline. Like you can find Lon Lon Ranch, but I don't think it's the Lon Lon Ranch from Ocarina. Like it feels like a split
All that
timeline.
stuff is just kind of homages. and,
Exactly.
Like, there's like sorry, like the map is references to like every single Zelda game. So I don't read too much into the canon. of that
And
stuff.
I agree. I think this is a whole separate timeline from what we've seen. So I would love for him to fill in that. I think there's totally room to do
I like how the universe feels ancient and lived in.
Yeah.
It's less cool for me personally to have a universe that's new. Like one of my favorite things, I was just back in the desert area of Zelda, and there's like a ring of giant statues in one area. It's really cool looking, and they're like old and decrepit, and you have to figure out this puzzle with them. And then there's also these statues all over the desert that like are all holding swords, and they're pointing up into one area. And there's like these old monuments, and each one is missing an arm or a wing or like whatever. I love that. I love the lived-in universe. It feels like, you know, exploring Egypt or something.
And even besides that world feeling, you know, lots of RPGs do like the 1,000 years ago thing, but like Zelda executes on that better than most, thanks to some of the stuff you're talking about. But you know, Link sleeps for what is it, 100 years?
Yeah,
I think.
100 years.
And so Zach Ryan, I was copy editing something he wrote about Zelda today, and he pointed out that this is unique because you're playing the third act of this hero's journey, and then you only sort of piece together Act 1 and 2 interesting, and the whole game takes place in this like sort of conclusion of his story, and like that's really cool. Like I'd never really kind of thought about it that way before.
Yeah.
I don't think I would play that Zelda game that takes place with, more modern motorcycle-like technology. But what I would play is like a Majora's Mask style.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Take Hyrule and put like a dark and twisted spin on it. And I think that lets you get away with, like, Majora's Mask was made in a year because they reused all the character models and reused, but instead of it feeling recycled, it just had such a different tone that they got away with it.
It's probably the most unique Zelda game of all of them.
And so I think
it's a DLC pack.
like reuse.
Have you ever played Wand of Gamelon?
Well, okay, that's true.
Anyway, it's just unique.
So I think, take that same Hyrule, but make like a Dark World version of it and all the characters Dark World versions of themselves. And you got yourself a sequel.
I mean, spoiler alert, if they made the volleyball spinoff, I would play it if it had Zelda in the title. So I would probably play
Volleyball spin-off, Zelda Ball.
Yeah.
You mean volleyball and Mario?
No, I'm saying if they make a thing, if Nintendo publishes a thing on Switch called Zelda fill in the blank.
All right, I don't think that's a spoiler.
Did you play crossbow training?
I did play crossbow training. I still have that peripheral somewhere in my closet.
You don't
I
need
kept
that
the
peripheral.
disc, but not the peripheral.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
But don't you need the peripheral to play it?
Surprisingly, it's just a piece of plastic.
Huh. Interesting.
It just holds your Wii U controller just like this.
Just holds it straight.
You can just go like this.
It's like the zapper.
Like the Mario Kart.
The
steering
wheel.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Also out this week is Okami HD. The latest polish of Okami, and I actually updated our review of that for IGN. And I had not played that game since the original PS2 release in 2006. And man, that game is so fun. It's still really good. It's absolutely
really
gorgeous. It's
really
in
is.
4K now. I was, sometimes you revisit games 10 years later, 10 plus years later, and you're like, ooh, this is kind of janky. This isn't quite as fun as I remember. But Okami is absolutely as fun as I remember. I think it's still one of the best non-Zelda games ever made. And the fact that it came out in the same year as this new Zelda game, it feels like a really nice companion piece to Breath of the Wild.
Put it on the Switch.
Yeah. This latest HD version is on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and it's great because it's the first time it's been on either Xbox or PC. But yeah, come on, bring it to the Switch.
It was on Wii. It can come
on
to
the
Switch.
It was IGN's Game of the Year 2006, which was a
yeah.
controversial choice
Well,
at the time, but it's proven correct.
because
against Zelda.
a real Zelda game came out that year. Twilight Princess came out that year, but we gave Game of the Year to Okami, which is
2006.
almost unbelievable.
And our
I was a
watermark ended
fan-
up on the box art.
For Wii,
Might have been
for a
2006, maybe.
Yeah.
Oblivion was early 2006.
It is. Yeah, it was that too. And then we just looked up the IGN nominees for it, and that was one of them. Yeah, I was a big fan of IGN then, and was not working here or even freelancing. I don't think at that time. Maybe just
That was the year I started, 2006.
Yeah, and I was like, that was like an upset. I remember all the podcasts talking about it frequently, and more people played Okami, and that always hurts the underdog, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like Zelda. It's hard to beat Zelda.
Yeah,
But we
This one
did. Okami did in
That's
2006.
a complicated legacy.
totally. Jared Petty's favorite Zelda game ever.
Yeah, it's true.
Objectively incorrect.
Anyway, Okami HD totally holds up. If you haven't ever played that game, I highly recommend it. If you haven't played it in a long time, it's totally worth
I
revisiting.
forgot. I did a Let's Play of it yesterday with Marty, and I had forgotten almost everything about it. And I'm now actually very excited to play through it.
It's got so much personality, and it's like the setting, this like ancient Japanese mythological setting, is something very, very few games do. So I think you can actually learn something about Japanese culture
That's
by
totally
playing
true.
this game.
Yeah, I
Really
agree.
cool.
Yeah, about
All the
all the
moms out
sentient
there.
dogs who walked around restoring sake factories.
Yep. Yeah, it's really, really good. Now it is time for a convening of the Game Scoop Book Club, and I've been reading one of Andrew's favorite books. I've been reading Boss Fight Books, Spelunky. The Boss Fight Books series is a whole series of books. Each entry focuses on one game, and this one is on, obviously, Spelunky, one of my favorite games, one of the best games ever made. And this one is unique because it's written by Derek Yu, creator of Spelunky.
It's amazing that he did that because so many of these books are one person's personal adventure with the game.
Exactly.
And so you get a lot of like really fascinating, great stories about, like the Metal Gear games or Earthbound or all kinds of classic games. This one is like almost just like a book about game design. It's
you learn
really,
a lot
really
about
cool.
game design by reading this book. Yeah, so he goes with his like thought process and coming up with the idea for the original Spelunky through the creation of the original freeware version. Then from when Jonathan Blow hit him up and was like, "Hey, I've got contacts at Microsoft. Do you want to talk to him about putting this on Xbox 360?" And goes through all that, and then creating the whole new version for Xbox 360. And he's actually a really good writer too.
Yeah.
So
Does he talk about aubergine?
Yeah. He talks about all of those. He talks about
know what
everything
that
he
is?
made up until.
It's an eggplant. That's what in Europe they say aubergine.
I think he does mention it because he talks about all the kind of tropes and other.
You guys
games
haven't
that
ever heard
inspired
this.
game.
This is great. I've learned this in the past couple of years. It was new to me.
I've been watching.
They
The
don't say
Crown.
eggplant.
You've been watching The Crown, and they don't talk about eggplants in The Crown.
think-
It'll
He
come
actually he gets into the eggplant run. That and when it was discovered in this game.
Wait, do you
which
get
is-
turned into like a Kid Icarus eggplant in this? Is that what happens?
No, Yama does. The final boss does. Like, so your goal is you get the eggplant very early and you have to carry it all the way to hell.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then
It's
you
like
throw
a
it to the
football.
boss. Yeah.
So fun.
I have a confession to make. I only ever played the freeware Spelunky. I never played the actual
Gotta do it.
retail release.
Play it
of
on Vita.
Spelunky.
It was
I rebelled against the pixel art. I really like the pixel art in the freeware version.
well. Okay, so yeah.
It ended up looking really nice.
Yeah, I
It
know.
actually does look really
gorgeous,
nice, and I guess you missed your chance, but it was definitely a PS Plus game at some point. So it was a free game there, but it's totally good. Obviously, if you like the game Spelunky, I highly recommend this book. But if you are interested in making video games, I think you would learn a lot.
I love how the creator wrote the book.
Yeah,
That's
he-
just the
it's so
coolest.
cool.
It's
Like I
coolest
said,
twist
he's
on
like
the series.
a totally good, enjoyable writer too. It's really
Also,
good.
Justin, I will gift you that game on Steam if you want to play.
That part's not the issue. Like, the $10 is not the problem.
And Andrew, remember, Spelunky 2 is coming.
Oh, I did not forget. Yeah, I'm really
Hopefully
excited.
next year.
That got announced at Paris Games Week. We know almost literally nothing about it other than that it appears he plays his daughter, and that's basically all we know about
Spelunky
it.
guy's daughter.
Yeah.
Spelunky gal.
Derek, you also made Aquaria, which is one of my favorite indie games, and it was like a big indie game before.
That's what he did before Spelunky.
Way before indie games were like a thing.
It's a swimmy Zelda.
And this game,
it's a
this book, I
swimmy
mean,
Metroid.
this
Swimmy
book
Metroid,
is
sorry, yeah.
as much about his experiences on Aquaria as it is about Spelunky. Like the first, I don't know, third or almost half of the book is kind of about him building up to
Unbelievable
Spelunky.
how good Aquaria is.
He's a very smart guy,
Yeah,
very talented designer. He's a great artist.
he's a local boy, unless he moved away.
No, he's in San Francisco. Yeah.
And that brings us to video game 20 questions. And I don't remember the name of who sent in our suggestion this week, so I will superimpose it on the screen right here.
Beep,
Thank you very much,
Beep.
It's a great
sir
name.
or madam.
I like that name a lot.
Let the questioning begin.
Does your character wear a hat?
Back to hats.
You probably can.
Oh,
Probably a possibility.
oh boy.
Oh, we got it now. All right. I get very anxious during these. Is it released? What is it after January 1st, 2000?
That's whatever you want, man.
Is it released after January 1st, 2000?
Yes.
Can you play as a lady?
I don't think you ever have direct control of a woman. I don't think so.
Is it?
It's not World of Warcraft or Street Fighter, because you can be Chun-Li in Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's not a lot of games now that we have a character creator basically eliminated.
Was it released after January 1st, 2010?
No.
It's like a 360 era.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of systems in that era still, right?
Well, you're right because
The
yeah,
2000s.
that's a good.
This
point.
is a console exclusive.
Yes.
Ooh, is it a Japanese game?
Yes.
Is it made by Nintendo?
No.
Is this a Sony game?
No.
Wait.
So it's
We-
a
we-
360 exclusive
No.
or Xbox.
No. I just think he didn't mean it's not developed by Sony. It's probably
That's how
on
I took
PlayStation
it as well.
Oh, I thought you meant is it available on PlayStation?
Is this a wait? So it's,
That's not how I understood his question.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
it's 2000s console exclusive Japanese developed game.
Where you cannot play as a woman and you might be able to wear a hat.
Yeah. I want to get console since we know it's a console exclusive. Would that be that's PS2 or PS3 most likely?
Or Vita.
Or yeah. Okay. Is this a PS2 exclusive?
Yes.
cool.
PS2 exclusive Japanese game,
But not first party.
but not first party.
You can
And it's-
you
and it-
might be able to wear a hat.
And it is a Japanese game.
Disgaea,
Yes.
maybe. Although that eventually got ported to other consoles. I know what Damon likes.
Yeah. Does this game have sequels?
Yes. That's 10.
Sounds like this guy.
Does not like this guy.
It's not Disgaea. I think Damon would know if you can wear a hat.
Yeah. Or,
Also, it's unclear who
or can't you play as other party members?
Well, that's what I mean. Are you Laharl in Disgaea? We're back to this
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, because you're giving commands to your.
Okay.
Soldiers.
Okay.
But he's moving around. He's
Yeah,
on the board.
he has to move too. He's in the fight also.
Who published that game?
NIS in America.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Okay, PS2 exclusive and developed in Japan.
is this? Should we ask if it's an RPG?
PS2 era, yeah, is it an RPG?
No.
Oh boy. Do you think it's something like Odin Sphere,
No.
like an action game?
I really like.
Oh no, you
mean,
play as a lady in that game.
Yeah.
Do you only play as one character in this game?
I think so. I'm pretty sure you only play as one character.
Ooh.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Ooh. Well, that's technically. I mean, it was Team Eco, but it was technically a first-party published game. It was a Sony published game.
I think Damon would know you only play as
Yeah.
Wander in that game.
Yeah.
You can catch a bird. Play as a bird.
True.
Okay. That's a really good one.
PS2 era, not an RPG.
But
There's
something
one
like
character.
that, though. Like,
Yeah.
Is this? Should we ask if it was well received?
They almost always are.
Yeah. Like he wouldn't.
When
put
they're
some
not, it's
obscure-
great.
Yeah.
What did you say that one time? He said, sounds like we got a turret on our hands.
Gentlemen, sounds like we have a turn.
Ask if it's third person or first person.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it? Well, should I have to ask? Is yes or no? Is it a third-person game?
Yes.
So what does that leave us? All those PS2
Yeah.
like you know, like Ninja Gaiden
Yeah.
or like
Like a third-person.
that
action
was
game.
on other platforms, but like a
Yeah.
third
So
person.
what about like Ratchet and Clank or Jack and
It's
Daxter?
Japanese made. But otherwise I would say
Are those two? I don't know.
yeah, those are made by
Those are Insomniac.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, those are like.
Naughty Dog.
Well, I guess those are third-party.
What's
games.
the
I don't know if those are published by Sony or published
Tenchu
by.
or Bushido Blade?
I was gonna say
or,
like
like,
Tenchu is a really
Yeah, Tenchu. That's true.
what are those? Those are like stealth.
Oh yeah,
games?
and also
you-
it's
is this-
Japanese made, so it wouldn't be Ratchet and Clank.
Is this a ninja game?
Is it a ninja game?
Yeah.
No.
I was sorry. I went cowboy on that because I got really sure it was Tenchu there for a sec.
So we're at 15.
14.
14.
But that also does eliminate a lot of Japanese made
Yeah,
PS2.
it's throwing me off that it's Japanese made.
I mean, developer is always a trap, but it'd be so helpful to know if it was like, you know,
Did we ask?
Square?
Did we ask if they're still in business?
no, but I don't know.
Well, they're sequels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The
okay.
Japanese
I
game.
mean, that should really help us. Like
Yeah.
a lot of these games we're talking about, like Shadow of the Colossus and Tenchu doesn't have sequels, right?
Yeah, there were sequels.
There are.
Yeah.
What about like the Castlevania games or the Konami stuff from that era?
Lords of Shadow was not.
It's not that. There's
that was
two
too
other
late.
ones
That was earlier.
for PlayStation 2. I can't remember them, but
For
like,
PS2, yeah.
It's third person, but we didn't specify that it was 3D.
and could these be Metal Gear games?
Yes.
Is there anything that says that? Well, the hat.
He says you're pretty sure you don't play as a woman.
Yeah, no hat.
Yeah, he
Third
wears a
person.
bandana.
Bandana hat.
Well, now we're into the real.
Might as well be. That might as well just be a high scarf.
It's a forehead scar.
Yeah, it's something of a hair ascot, right?
Yeah.
High scarf.
That's so stupid.
Should we say if like something about is the characters in this game in PlayStation All Stars or something like that?
I think if you
Does
if,
anyone
it's
here
something
other than
huge.
know the roster of PlayStation?
if
Well,
you're
no,
wearing a
that'd be helpful.
bandana and you go into a place that has a prominently displayed no hat sign, I think they would say "sir" and they'd point at the sign.
I totally don't think they would.
Should we say if there's a sequel coming out still?
Oh, like
Or
did a
something-
sequel to this game?
Come out
are
on
they-
the
are they
Has the
still
sequel to
making-
this game been featured in the last 3 E3s? We guessed that way.
Or
on the last
I
what?
just,
3 E3s.
Oh yeah, that's a good one for Damon.
I mean, you can't. I usually just like to ask, are they still? Is this an active franchise?
But he said they're
There's sequels, but it could have petered out 2 years ago or something.
I mean,
Do you want to ask a
is
question
it
about that?
helpful
Would
to
that be
know?
helpful?
Like, is this in like contemporary, like modern day Earth, or
Or like, do you? I
It's
would
not
like
a
to know
ninja game.
mechanics. I think mechanics are gonna. So like, do you have a gun? Do you have like that kind of
okay.
stuff? Yeah.
We can do that.
sure?
Do you have a gun?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
That's 15.
That's very confusing to me then, because I was thinking of fantasy. As,
Yeah.
Still possibly Metal Gear.
Yeah. I mean, Metal Gear is looking
Metal Gear,
pretty
what would it
solid.
be Metal Gear Solid? It'd be Metal Gear Solid 2.
He didn't even
He
get his
doesn't
own,
even know.
He didn't even get his own solid joke there.
Hey everyone. I don't know. I'm Metal Gear is my biggest blind spot in the whole
Does
industry.
this game take place in like, more or less modern day Earth?
yes.
Okay, still looking like Metal Gear Solid 2. That actually eliminates any
Should we ask if it's a Konami game?
Sure.
Yeah.
Is this a Konami game?
No.
Oh.
3 questions left.
So Siphon Filter or something like that?
Yeah, but that's
Or
made
those
by
Well, Siphon Filter would have been. Well, the PS2 one, I don't know actually.
Or
No, I mean it wouldn't have been Japanese dev anyway, right?
third person. Are there third person shooters on PlayStation that have?
I was
sequels?
so sure.
Third-person shooters on
Metal Gear.
PS2 that are exclusive. Should know this.
Not really.
Mag.
Yeah. Well, Mag is PS3, I think, right?
Man, this is rough. What if it's licensed?
You know, it's Japanese developed,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2,
With guns. I mean, that helps us. And it's modern Earth with
modern
guns.
setting.
So it's like, are there like,
It's exclusive.
like Parasite, one of Parasite Eves. It's not an RPG.
is there like a, is there, I don't even know.
In that era,
It might
like-
not be a shooter, right? It could
No,
still be
it's
like
it's a gun. It's got guns, but maybe not a shooter.
Yeah, I probably phrased that question badly.
so like
That's
a
fine.
tactical game or something.
It's still.
Well, it's weird because like in my head, I want to be like Resident Evil 4, but it's like, no, that was a GameCube game. Like, it's like I keep thinking about the wrong things.
I mean, we have a couple questions if we want to ask like Capcom and Square Enix. Not that many.
It feels like a risk. If you want to take that, you're a
that
braver
might-
man than I am.
That might be the only way we get it though.
Yeah.
Is this a
Dude.
Square Enix game?
No.
Oh.
Like, I'm afraid if we say, is this a Capcom game, the answer is no.
But that just eliminates huge. I can't think of. Well, I guess that's not helpful because I can't think of any contemporary.
Exactly. Like, what? Exactly. Like, what contemporary gun-holding Square Enix game was there anyway?
Yep. Sounds like a Damon game.
It's going to be a game I played, is the thing that frustrates me. Because this sounds like a Japanese-made game where there's a gun that's in the modern world. Sounds like an Andrew game circa, 2002.
What
or
about
It
like
has sequels.
Well, then think about it, man.
and it has sequels? Like, what are the most popular Sony games? What are the most popular Sony series?
Is this still in 2017? Is this still like a relevant game that people are talking about and thinking about today?
Yes. And that
So-
brings us to the final question.
I want it. Like, it's funny.
Wait,
because
wait, no, that was such a good clue because what PS4 like what's still around?
Well, he said it's not an RPG, right?
Yeah.
Because for a minute I was like Persona 4, but it's not that. Okay, so in 2017, a modern relevant game. It's not Metal Gear because it's not Konami.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Final Fantasy because it's not Square. You have a gun in it.
I mean,
What about the game that Mark Ryan likes a lot?
Zone of the Enders.
Kojima game.
That's still a Konami game, though, isn't it?
yeah.
Oh, something like that. That's like
But and that's also not. Well, I mean, I guess technically it's a 2017 game because they announced that VR thing. What do people care about in 2017? That was a third-person PS2 game.
what about Rez?
Rez?
But not on Earth. That's not like that's abstract.
And do you have a gun in Rez?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
The Earth setting. It's like just normal. It's like I'm trying to picture like some sort of PS2 Splinter Cell. That's
I was trying to
Japan.
think like Earth Defense Force or something. But
See, I like that PS2 split. Like, I'm thinking of like a Rainbow Six game
Yeah, me too.
or a tactical RPG game.
but they're Japanese.
Yeah,
so it
exactly.
wouldn't be. Yeah.
So those are really weird, right? Like, what would it be? And then you have games like
Plus, so many of those games have hats.
what are the PlayStation All Stars characters
PlayStation All Stars characters.
that are from Japan? Fat Princess.
That's yeah. Sir Daniel
not-
Fortescue from Medieval,
We eliminated first party games and Square games and Konami games.
Yeah, I
but
guess
not
that's
not Capcom, right?
No, not Capcom.
So if it was a Capcom game, it could be a Mega Man game.
They
Not
did.
a PS2 exclusive though.
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
they were so big on GameCube back then.
Yeah,
Definitely has a hat too.
yeah.
So it's not. It can't even be like. It can't be like PNO3. or
Monster
Beautiful
Hunter?
Joe. Not Monster Hunter in contemporary Earth
Why,
Yeah.
Why can't it be Monster Hunter?
because it's not on modern day planet Earth.
and yeah,
Lost Planet.
that was PS3, and that wasn't exclusive. Man,
Those are good Capcom third person action games though.
I'm pretty stumped.
That
to be
people
honest.
still play.
Yeah, it's a stretch to call Lost Planet still relevant.
Beautiful Joe, God
What's like a
Hand.
20? I'm trying to think. I feel like that was such a good clue. Like 2017
2017?
games that people are still like it's still on people's minds and
Okami.
active.
If we were stumped, I can reveal the solution.
No, I want to guess. I feel like we can come. I mean, we'll take another couple minutes to come up with a guess. Right?
I don't have.
I mean, this is incredible radio. I'm sure people are.
Yeah,
wait.
no.
We still have a Mitchell.
What do you mean?
Is he producing?
No, Brian is.
Oh, Brian.
Wait, does he get a question?
Brian.
Brian, what do you
Might
think it
help
is?
you, but
Brian, what is it?
he's
He has.
he has nothing.
He went home.
Not Borderlands.
I give
No,
up.
that's PS3. It wasn't exclusive.
And it's. I give up. I'm out.
Are we giving up, Andrew?
Yeah.
I hate giving up.
What's a weirdo PS2
Counterpoint.
game? Is there something better than Rez?
This is
I
definitely.
guess we can just give up.
All right.
All right. There is a major Japanese publisher and developer that you guys overlooked,
Nintendo.
named Sega.
Oh, dang.
Wait, hold
You
on.
know it yet?
No.
With a modern setting on planet Earth, still getting sequels, still relevant today.
Yakuza.
Yakuza.
Damn it.
Yakuza.
I really feel like I might have gotten there eventually.
What? You had 40 more questions.
Yeah.
No, we would have gotten there in like 3 more questions
Yeah.
because we would have zeroed in on like, is it a shooter? No, but
That's a really hard one because I've never played through a Yakuza game. So it didn't pop.
Yeah.
I've never played the one either, but I'm aware of it. And
Yeah.
I didn't know
only
it
one-
started on PS2 either.
it's the only one that I played was the original on PS2.
Yeah, 2006.
Good one.
Dang.
I like that. That was a hard one.
Oh man,
Especially for this group. Like,
Yeah.
we really screwed that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2006. So it was
Well,
a late PS2 game.
Let's all go see Star Wars.
Yeah. Exactly.
I am going to go see Star Wars. You have not seen it yet, Justin? Yeah. Half of this panel has already seen it, and they're going to go see it again tonight.
And here's how it ends.
And I'm going to see it for the first time tonight, and Justin's going to see it
December
later.
27th, I think. I'm going to have to hold on for dear life.
All right.
There's only one more scoop this year. We will be recording, I think, on Tuesday next week. So I'll get that final scoop in your ears and eyes probably on Wednesday. But until
When
then,
we're proud to reveal Red Dead Redemption 3.
yes. Yeah, if you want to. No, seriously, Rockstar, if you want to have some sort of Red Dead Redemption reveal here on GameScoop, email gamescoop@ign.com.
It has to be a still image that Justin can print out on a piece of paper.
Yeah, we
Set
can do
clear.
black and white sepia
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah, that
Some
right.
John Marston.
sepia.
envelope
We can't
art.
promise sepia.
Okay. We are not going to promise the sepia.
But we'll
sepia
try to
tone.
work something out. So until next week, that is all the scoops that we have for you this week. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Sam. My name is Damon. This is IGN GameScoop, and we're out.